We are live. I am joined by friend Hooper, Colin Castleton. How you doing, my man?
Good, man. I'm doing good. Good. Back home right now. I'm doing good.
You were looking sharp the other day, hooping at the gym. I know you were taking it easy, just going through a walkthrough, but
Yeah.
smooth. You're smooth.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, just trying to get some runs in any possibility I can back home. Trying to get some wind under me before I do these workouts. Just stay conditioned and stuff like that. So that's like kind of my main priority right now.
Right. And shout out our guy Zach Camparisi for opening up the gym. What he's doing, he's starting. I love what he's doing. He's
Yeah.
helping people locally just work on their skills, honing on their craft, and he's giving them a lot of opportunities. And I absolutely love that. So it was cool when you got to come through. I got to knock off some of the rust just a little bit. That first game was rough. The second game was a little bit better. Um, but let's talk about you, man. So you got a lot coming up in your life. You got a lot going on as far as the NBA. But let's rewind the clocks back a little bit. So for my audience who hasn't seen you play before, let's talk about the beginning of the story. Let's start off with high school. So I played against you in high school. I went to
Yeah.
Atlanta. Obviously, you went to Father Lopez. So talk about that. When did you know? This is one thing that always fascinates me. When did you know you're like, oh, like I have something that this can take me pretty far? When did you realize you have that it to you?
I mean, I would say realistically, probably going like during my sophomore year of high school. I kind of just felt like I was kind of like separating myself a little bit on the basketball court. Um, like I was consistently playing really well, and then I knew like I was growing also. So I was like, I'm getting pretty tall. I have a really good skill set. So I was like, I can probably do some stuff for my future, collegiate as far as basketball. And I had a lot of schools coming into Lopez and watching me work out and stuff. So I think like kind of like in the middle of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, I had a lot of schools recruit me, coming to watch me play, work out, and whatever. And that's kind of like when I knew like, maybe I could do this thing for real. And that's kind of around the time when I really fell in love with basketball. A little bit before that is when I fell in love with basketball, but that's around the time I definitely knew like, okay, I can kind of take this really serious and maybe one day make a lot of money off of it. So
Right. And now, did you hit a growth spurt late? Because one thing I was always curious about, like I've played against a lot of taller people. When we used to go down to Orlando, Rebalt, they had
yeah,
7. But the only thing is, you have like such a soft touch, and you have an incredible jump shot for someone that's 7 feet. So, when did you develop that jump shot? Did you develop that
yeah.
when, or did that come? You just always worked on it.
Well, when I was younger, I always just like ever since I started playing basketball, I always worked with like guards, just always did like ball handling, shooting all the time. Like every time I would go to the gym when I was a kid, I would just shoot. Like I wouldn't just like play down low or whatever. Like I was always a little bit taller than everybody else, but I wasn't like extremely taller. So like they didn't see me as a young age like, oh, this kid's gonna be a big man. Like nobody thought about that. And then when I was younger, I didn't take basketball serious, so I didn't know I was gonna play it when I was older. I would just go to the gym and just shoot the ball all the time. And then towards, like the later in middle school, going into high school, started hitting like a growth spurt. I was like 6'3", eighth grade, 6'4" my freshman year. And that summer going into my sophomore year, I grew 4 inches.
Mm.
And then that summer, I just continued to just shoot the ball, work on my ball handling, work on, touch and just soft hands, like, stuff that you see guys do all nowadays in all workouts and in the league, in college, just every level of basketball. You got to have those skill sets. But I feel like just being able to work on those at a young age, and I had that instilled in me, just being able to work on that helped me now to where like it's just natural. It's not really like something that I gotta, to get to. I just already kind of have a little bit of it, and I just gotta continue to get better with it.
Right. And you became unstoppable. Like your senior year, I remember when we played you guys, obviously, that's the year we went 28-3. And when we played you guys, Coach Howard's like, look, we just need to make it hard on him. Like
Yeah,
you're going to get your points. We just got to make you work for it and have the rest of the team beat you. Like
yeah,
you became an unstoppable force because you're big, but you're a big who's shooting threes. And there's nothing we
yeah,
can, because we
yeah.
can't contest. You're going to just knock it down. Now, when did you, I guess I would say, like when someone makes it in Daytona Beach, I feel like everyone rallies behind them.
Yeah.
You have Vince Carter, like Cyrus going to FSU and
Mm.
playing football, Jakai. So now then there's you, and who you have this potential to go to the league. So what was that recruitment process like? What was that like when you first go to Michigan? Did you feel that support behind you from the
Yeah.
town?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I went like a lot farther than those guys did. I think Cyrus went to FSU out of high school, Chicago went to Florida. So, I mean, being closer to home is definitely different. Going to Michigan, I was kind of like by myself, but I definitely felt the support. I mean, at times I definitely felt like I wasn't playing as much, wasn't really doing as much. A lot of people expect a lot more. So I think at times people were kind of just like wondering like what's going on or this and that or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people just, saw me in high school and thought, oh, wow, like NBA, NBA, NBA. But you got to realize like there's a lot of guys that are really good in college. There's a process you got to go through. Everybody's not, the same. Nobody's just going one and done or whatever the case may be. My bad.
You're good.
And like everybody's different, so you got to just have your own process. And I realized that, but overall I definitely got support while I was up there. Like a lot of people would hit me up like, keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing, keep working hard. And I always just kept working hard, kept my head down, kept doing what I was doing. And then transferring to Florida has been crazy. Like coming home, it's obviously different, and the year I had, it's been even exemplified. Like people just blowing me up the whole time. But while I was at Florida, I definitely obviously felt the love because, going to Father Lopez, there's like probably 60, 70 kids in my graduating class that went to Florida. So definitely had a lot of love while I was at Florida. But overall, it's been a good experience with people showing support while I'm home. But I think it's been, a little bit more blown up while I've been in state and in Gainesville because it's so much closer. I think this year's been the craziest because now basically everywhere I go back home, like somebody stops me, somebody talks to me because there's more fans here. At Michigan, it was a little bit different. Like I would come home, wouldn't really see many people. Not a lot of people would recognize me as much, but I still had support and stuff like that. So
Right. Take me through that transfer process. So you go to Florida. Now, Florida, in my opinion, is the most successful college when it comes to sports. And you look at their football program, their basketball program. They're such a well-rounded school. So take me through that process. What was that transition like?
yeah.
Now balling in Florida. Like, let's not. I know you're a very humble guy, but you're doing your thing in Florida. Like you're not just playing there; you're excelling there.
Mm-hmm.
So what has that process been like? That transition, and when did you start to kind of see things click for you?
Yeah, well, obviously last year when COVID hit, I came home, just was with my parents for a little while. We ultimately like made the decision that it would be the best option for me to transfer. Just a different, numerous variables, just being closer to home, not knowing what was going to happen this year, wanting a new opportunity with basketball. Just a lot of different things played a part in that. So then decided to transfer. I had like 50 schools contact me, so it was crazy. And that was a really quick process though. But when Coach White called me, I was like, dang, like, it would be crazy. Like at the end of the day, my dream was always to play close to home, and that didn't happen. But everything happens for a reason, so I was fine with that. Like I didn't worry about that. But then this time around, I was like, you know what, like I don't know if I can turn down playing in my home state. Putting on a Florida jersey. Like definitely, means a lot to me. And like every time I go into a game, like I just have the extra chip on my shoulder because I know like so many people are supporting me and I got to show out for like a lot of people. So definitely was a quick process, but I knew who I was going to go with after, we talked for a little while. I already knew their coaching staff. I knew a lot of guys on the team and stuff like that. So it's close to home and it was just a good opportunity for me to play right away. And I feel like I did a good job of just keeping my head down, staying quiet, working hard this whole summer. I earned an opportunity and just try to do as best as I could the whole year. And we had a pretty good run, but I feel like we should have done a little bit more things than we did, but it happens. But overall, it was a good experience this year at Florida.
And you're averaging like 12 a game, 6 rebounds, and you're shooting 60%, like I said. And for a big who has a soft touch, not only around the rim, but you can extend out and knock the jump shot down too. So fit obviously matters, and being around people that complement you, and you obviously fit in UF's program. So when did you realize, like on the court, like, oh wow, like I'm balling out, like I'm doing my thing now. They can't stop me.
Yeah.
What game was it? A practice? Something had to click for you to be like, okay, this is different.
Well, the first game in college where I was like, dang, like I actually I not can't be stopped, but like, okay, I'm playing really well right now. Like I'm making a difference in game was our first SEC game, actually, SEC conference play was versus Vanderbilt on the road. And going into it, like I didn't really have a crazy mindset of like I gotta kill. Like I was just before that I was averaging like 7. We played like 5 or 6 games. I was playing decent. But I don't know, whatever happened, something clicked. I don't really know exactly what it was. There wasn't anything in particular, but that first game of SEC play, I kind of just, I don't know if I had extra chip on my shoulder, but whatever I did, whatever I listened to before a game, but I played really well. That was actually my career high, was the first game of SEC play. So
Wow.
Played good that night, and then just strung along back to back to back to back, and then finished the year out pretty strong. But yeah, nothing really clicked. I think I just was doing what I was doing, and I think the biggest thing for me though, if anything did click, was confidence. Like I just started believing in myself more. You know, I tended to listen to a lot of other people or try to rely on other people helping me out, and I was like, you know what, like I'm in my junior year. I've been through a lot in college, but I kind of have to just look in the mirror and just believe in myself. Like everybody's telling me different things, whatnot, this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I got to just believe in myself and fully focus on what I can do. And then I know what I'm capable of. So that's basically what I did and just took it from there.
Right. One of the most impressive things, like I said, I've always known about you. I played against you, but then actually working out with you and seeing you a little bit and getting to know you, you could tell right away, like you're a get it guy. Like you understand, like you're a good dude. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that sounds like cliche, but
Yeah.
like I've covered the NBA and I started to notice, especially in certain locker rooms, like there's not always guys that get it. Like you
Yeah.
either they don't get it. But
Yeah.
I team starts to explore and look in depth in a player, their ability to kind of understand and be coachable and a good person and an individual that they know what they're getting night in and night out really
Mm-hmm.
appeals to them. Do you feel the same way about that as well?
Oh, 100%. I feel like I pride myself on having a good character, just being a humble person who just, works hard every day, doesn't really try to stay in the spotlight. I know
Right.
NBA teams look at that. Even in going into college, I knew that was a big thing. These guys they're investing their time, their money, whatever the case may be, into you as a player. So you got to be able to just have that maturity about you. And at first, it wasn't always like that. Like going into college, at the end of the day, I had so many expectations. My head was a little big. It humbles you for sure. Like you go through things where you kind of mature a little bit. Some guys may not go through that until they get to the NBA because everything happens so quick. So, everybody has a different situation, different process, like I was saying before. But I feel like I definitely was able to like grow up quickly and learn. Being coachable is one of the biggest things you can have in basketball, and it'll give you more opportunities. So, once you realize that and know, really just working hard, staying humble, and doing what you do, like things will work out for you. And if they don't, it's going to happen at some point in your career, if you just do those right things. So I definitely realized that, like knowing, these teams, you got to check all those boxes, because if not, then they might not give you an opportunity. So you got to realize that's what separates some people.
Right. And I know a lot of the times they do this in the NFL, like for their quarterbacks. Like that's really big
Yeah.
on checking the maturity and like guys like Sam Darnold flew off the charts because of the way his poise and his
Yeah.
composure. Trevor Lawrence now. And I think that, yeah, it's such an underrated quality to have that characteristic because it truly does matter. I mean, NBA players are looked at as almost like superheroes. We forget
Yeah.
they're because the money, the
Yeah.
fame, pension, and how much you're getting. So the ability to have that character now, they say money, I don't think it changes who you are. It makes you more of who you are. I've heard that
Mhm.
expression. So if you're mature now, I don't think things will really change. But so let me ask you this. So what's this process been like? So now you have the opportunity to get drafted, but obviously you can still go back to school because you didn't hire an agent. So what is
Yeah.
that process been like?
So yeah, once the season ended, I was in Gainesville for a little bit, just continuing to work out. Took a little bit of a break on my body, because this year was definitely stressful. So I took a couple of days off, almost a week off from basketball. Then I started getting on a workout regimen in Gainesville for a little while. Just came home not too long ago, and ever since I just been home working out every day, about 6 days a week. I've been doing workouts and lifting. And then I think sometime next week in May, so right now, beginning of May, first week of May, I'll be going to Los Angeles for like 2 weeks to work out with the sports academy out there. And then after that, I'll be flying back home, doing a couple workouts here, and then I'm going to Miami for another 2 weeks. So that'll be like my whole schedule during May. Kind of just like pre-draft workouts, ramping up to get to your peak when, you want to go work out for these NBA teams and stuff. But just getting ready, just getting my body ready, getting physically ready, mentally ready, having the right mindset every day, knowing this could be a big opportunity for me no matter what I do, just being able to learn from these guys, talk to them, interview with them. It's definitely a humbling experience that I never thought I'd be in, but just taking it one day at a time. And that's kind of like my schedule. So then I have until like early July to decide. So just enjoying the whole process and going through it for sure.
That's incredible. So, oh God, that's exciting, man. I'm really happy for you. Now,
Appreciate it.
way the game has shifted, we talked about this a little bit off air when we were hooping, is definitely in your favor. Like you're a
Yeah.
big, like have a nice soft touch. The game is really up and down now. It's a lot of threes. It's run and gun. How do you think your game and your skills will transfer to the NBA level? Like for those
Yeah.
that have never played before, they hear
Yeah.
this, they look you up. How would you describe your game and how would it
Well,
complement the?
I think from a first glance, like obviously got people who watch me on my junior year, they think, you know, realistically right now from what they've seen, like I'm just a, traditional five who can play back to the basket. But that's kind of like what I was dealt with in a little bit of a way. Overall, I think I'm a player who can stretch the floor out, put it on the floor, guard multiple positions. I like having an aggressive chip on my shoulder just to bring that energy and fire to myself or my teammates, whoever needs it. And I love the defensive end. Like I love blocking shots. I love moving my feet. I love rebounding. So I think overall I could definitely transition well. Don't know exactly when that'll be, but I'm definitely going to be ready when I get the opportunity. And like I said, I'm just looking forward to getting better over this next month or two, working on my shot, getting it down back to where it was a couple years ago, and just building up that confidence because I know it's in me for sure to be able to just stretch that floor out. And just been working on my ball handling a lot. So I think from an outside perspective, people are going to be shocked when they can see like, the full way I play, but you've seen it before. And a lot of people know, like, I've had a lot of stuff in my game that I haven't been able to really exploit or show. But like I said, it goes back to the whole process thing. Everybody's different. Everybody has different opportunities. But when I do get the opportunity, I'm definitely going to be ready because I'm continuing every day to work on those skill sets, getting myself better, and just being ready. So when I go to these workouts, I can be confident in myself.
You have a beautiful form, and I think that goes a long way because if you have the structure and the form, the shot will fall. Like if the shot will, so you stay persistent, you work with it. It will fall. Confidence is a big part. So this is the key question. So I'm going to put you on the spot, but I know you're a prepared man.
Yeah.
Let's act like Max Van Auken, am a GM. So if I was a GM and I was like, okay, why should I draft Colin Castleton? What would your answer be?
It would just be a guy who wants to win, basically. I know it's cliche, but, I just feel like I have a passionate, mentality about me that not a lot of guys bring nowadays. Somebody who can just do whatever you want. If you want me to play defense, if you want me to play offense, I'll do that. Like whatever you need me to do, my rookie year or whatever year it is, I'll do that. I can guard multiple positions, play the 4 or 5 on the offensive end. And I'm just a character guy, like a locker room guy. I'll be able to help bring guys up. I'm not going to be an energy taker. Like I'm going to give energy, be passionate with my teammates. And I feel like the NBA definitely needs that in a way because it's kind of shifting to where, like you said, there's guys who just don't really know much, don't talk to each other in the locker room. I feel like I can be a guy that can, build people up, be funny, be joking around, stuff like that. And I know it's a professional level, so it's a little bit different than college, but you can definitely, carry that over. So just a guy who brings energy every day, works hard every day. I'll be in that gym all the time, and just trying to get better.
That's amazing. Yeah, you're a lubricator, not an agitator, and that's key, especially in the locker room. Like you said, full of those type of characters and egos, and for better or for worse, it's always good to have those guys in the locker room. So, Colin, my last 2 things for you would be: all right, you have a big game. What's your playlist? Who are you listening to before the big game?
Well, my favorite rapper by far, he's the GOAT, Lil Baby. That's my guy.
You said is the GOAT?
Yeah, he's the best rapper for sure. I mean, there's nobody. I don't think nobody. People will be like, "Oh, Drake and this and that, Drake, whatever." I mean, he's a good rapper, but I just don't like his flow. That's just how I am. But in my personal opinion, I'm listening to Lil Baby. I can listen to any. I know probably 30 songs word for word every bar. So like, I'll listen to Lil Baby a lot. I definitely will rock with him.
I think he's the best out right now.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, the GOAT right now, not overall. Definitely not overall. I mean, like the GOAT right now, the biggest in the game is definitely. Yeah. Overall, you can't call him the GOAT.
He's not missing. That's the problem. He does not.
He's continuing to get better for sure.
Who's your GOAT then all time? I'm just curious.
Dang, all time, that's hard.
Yeah,
because I did say GOAT. I didn't mean GOAT all time. Like,
no, I understand.
Like this era, I think Lil Baby's got it. But overall, that's hard. That's such a hard question. Like, because I didn't listen to music that was back in like the 90s and stuff. And those people say like that's when the GOATs technically
the Tupacs and the
Biggies. Yeah, that's when they were. But I wasn't even alive, so I didn't really listen. to it. But I mean, if I had to go with somebody, it would probably just be Tupac, because that's what everybody says, and that's what all the old heads talk about. So I would say he's probably the best.
Okay. Fair enough. favorite NBA, this is my last one for you. Favorite NBA player or a player that you try to play like or you modeled your game off of when you were young? Maybe not now, but when you were younger.
Favorite NBA player of all time is Dirk Nowitzki. I used to watch that man all the time. I'm a huge Miami Heat fan. I was actually born in Southern Florida, but when he beat the Heat, I was mad, but then I was like, wow, like this dude is tough. He really carried a whole franchise on his shoulders and beat like the three-headed snake, which was LeBron, Chris Bosh, and D-Wade. So my favorite player of all time, no matter what, that's never going to change, is probably Dirk Nowitzki. And when I was younger, I used to always work on that one-legged fadeaway. I still do it every time I work out. Every time I'm in a workout, I'll set 5 or 10 minutes to just working on my one-legged fadeaway because I know, like, if I get the opportunity, it would be so cool to just shoot that in a game. But
it's unstoppable.
I always work on that because I just think of him and the way he just did it so effortlessly and he just never missed. Like he was a sniper and he was 7 foot tall. So definitely Dirk. I wouldn't say like I model my game after him right now, but I think somebody I looked up to was definitely him, and I watched all his highlights, watched all his documentaries, everything Dirk I've probably watched. So growing up.
Right? Wasn't there like a mentor or a coach that almost like broke down his shot scientifically? Like,
there's a documentary, I watched it. It was right now it's on Hulu. It was on Netflix, but it was like his whole his trainer in Germany that grew up with him, and he like taught him the game scientifically and like how your elbow, a certain degree angle, whatever that is. So like that's why he never missed, I guess. So
yeah. And then you're 7 feet, right?
Yeah.
So if you get that one leg down, you're 7 foot. They can't stop it.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get on his level.
Colin, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy dude. So anyone listening, where can they find you on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff?
Well, my Instagram and Twitter are the same thing. It's just my last name _. So Castleton, CASTLETON _. And that's mostly both my social medias I go on or whatever. But that's all I have is just Instagram and Twitter. So.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it. Best of luck to you. I know we'll be in touch, but I know you have a lot of good stuff going forward. So thank you.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me.